Sunday's not just for NFL guys. We still have a 6-game NBA slate to talk about here. Before we get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. Again, we'll be talking about the NBA DFS slate. To also make videos for NFL daily fantasy sports as well as Prize Picks. Prize Picks, they are the sponsor of today's video. You can use the code DKDFS for a 100% match up to $100. And if you guys are looking for more premium content, you can check out my Patreon linked down below. So, fortunately, I was not able to play today. I was like your basically normal DFS tout, right? Charge people for advice and don't play. But no, I was actually not able to play because I have restrictions on my account because I would try to withdraw, and I think my address still had the Michigan address that I had before I moved to Chicago. So it was, So still dealing with that process, but right now I can't currently play on Draftkings, so I couldn't play today, and it sucked. It sucked because a lot of people did really well on Patreon, which is great to see. My quote unquote core was Marcus Smart, Miles Turner, Jaden Ivey, and Thad Young. So I think I would have had a pretty solid night if I was able to play. But no, restrictions on my account, so I might have to, if it's not lifted tomorrow, I might have to be a FanDuel drooler. So that would really suck. There's few worse things in life than playing on FanDuel, but I guess I might have to do that tomorrow if I still can't play. So yeah, I have nothing to recap, guys, because again, I was not able to play. But yeah, Prize Picks 1 of 1. Hit the over on Ivy. John Collins, shoot him to the moon, man. Shoot him to the moon. That guy needs to. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of John Collins. But yeah, 1 of 1 on Prize Picks. Nah, whatever. All right, Minnesota, Cleveland. So Minnesota side, not the best matchup. You know what I'm going to say here with the top 4 guys: Cat, Edwards, Gobert, Russell. I think the safest of the quote unquote top 4 guys are going to be Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns. Edwards went for 45 fantasy points last game. Cat, again, probably has the highest ceiling, but you really can't trust any of these guys in a cash game. So I would say all 4 of these guys are in play for tournaments, but no priorities there. McDaniels, he's up, he's down. If he can stay out of foul trouble, this guy does have a ceiling, but he's in foul trouble majority of the time. If you wanted to go to a 4.3K slow-mo, I think that's fine. Like, he's going to play low 20s minutes most likely. Noel, the minutes have been ticking down on him. They've been dusting off Bryn Forbes a bit of late. Torian Prince, I think I would just rather play slow-mo if I'm going to play like one of these bench guys. Moving on to Cleveland. So Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell's questionable. I hope he plays. I really hope he plays. I'm tired of Darius Garland, and I'm really tired of Karis LeVert, too. I'm really just tired of those two. So I hope Mitchell plays. We don't have to deal with it. But if he misses, yeah, Garland and LeVert are going to get a pretty big usage bump. Both look really good. LeVert, every time I play this guy, he's awful. If I fade, 60 bombs. So, it's just so, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it, but we might have to if Donovan Mitchell misses. Jared Allen is also questionable. If he misses, more minutes for Mobley. You probably get more run for Kevin Love, who's a good point per minute guy. Dean Wade, also, if he plays, would get a little bit more run. So, Cleveland, 3 question marks. If they're all out, then we can start considering guys like a Cedi Osman at 3.2K. I don't care who's out for Cleveland. Literally, you couldn't pay me to rosters. I would rather eat dirt than roster Isaac Okoro. So I don't care who. I don't care if he's the only one that's available. I'm not playing Isaac Okoro ever. Memphis and Washington. So my best ball team. No one runs worse. No one runs worse. Literally over half my team is injured, and now Ja Morant out too. Come on, man. Come on. So Ja, doubtful. Desmond Bane, doubtful. Jaren Jackson Jr. looks like he's close to returning. He's doubtful now, too. But the price points on DraftKings are just right, this is just stupid. I don't have to tell you to play Tyus Jones at 3.6. Literally the easiest play of the slate. Dylan Brooks is going to shoot 45 times. He looks phenomenal. John Conchar most likely starts and plays big minutes. He looks amazing. Adams doesn't really get a boost, neither does Aldama, but they're still going to play solid minutes. They're both decent values. Adams at 5.3, Aldama at 4.6. And then, you can start considering some of these rookies off the bench because the starting lineup most likely, again, will be Tyus Jones, Dylan Brooks, Conchar, Aldama, Adams. Clark will back up Adams. And then you're going to get some run for guys like David Roddy, Laravia. I think they dust off Kennedy Chandler, run him some backup points. So if you want to take a shot at one of those rookies in tournaments, you can. But mainly, the main guys I'm looking to are Conchar, Brooks, and Tyus Jones, obviously. And then the front courts, it still looks good too. On the Washington side, so Beal is not going to be available for this game. Porzingis, Kuzma, that's where the offense is going to come from. Memphis, not been great defensively. So the two main guys here for Washington, I think, look solid. I don't think either are priorities at their price points, but I think they both look good. Monty Morris has been really bad. He's been really, really bad. And with him struggling, they have been giving more run to Jordan Goodwin. Both guards are playable, neither priorities. Value-wise, like Rui, Barton, and Denny all look decent. Minutes are a little bit up and down on these guys. Like Barton only played 16 minutes last game. More often than not, though, you're probably getting 20 plus from Barton. Denny Avdia, 30 plus minutes back-to-back games. That looks a little bit interesting. So this group of like Rui, Barton, and Denny I think are decent values. If you think Porzingis gets in foul trouble, you can look to a guy like Daniel Gafford. Utah and Philadelphia, no priorities here for Utah. Markkanen, 7.5 feels priced about right. The two guards in Clarkson and Conley are both fine secondary plays. I think the ceiling's a bit higher on Clarkson than it is Conley. Olenek, it just feels priced about right. His minutes have been down. This guy's always in foul trouble too, as is Jared Vanderbilt. Just such a frustrating roster. Literally always in foul trouble. Sexton, his minutes have been ticking down a bit of late, which makes him a bit riskier. Still have interest in him. Malik Beasley, I am not tilted whatsoever about this. Back-to-back 30 fantasy point games for him. I play him at 2% ownership when he's starting. 14 fantasy points in 31 minutes. Oh, also, since we didn't do a recap, right? I would just like to state a formal statement here about how incredibly happy I am. Max Strus. Max Strus. You see what Max Strus did today? Oh, you don't know, huh? He went for 31 real-life points. 50 bomb. Oh, but I played him the previous slate at no ownership. 0.4 fantasy points a minute. 19 fantasy points in like 42 minutes when I play. I fade 31 points. If you think Kelly gets in foul trouble, yes, you can take a shot on Walker Kessler, who's not a bad point per minute guy. THT, his minutes have been a little bit up and down, but yeah, he's playable. Except when I play, when I play THT when like half the team's out, he plays 10 minutes here and finishes with 1 fantasy point. When if he has an average game there, I'm looking at a possible takedown that night. But now he's averaging 3 fantasy points a minute. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing here? Philadelphia, Joel Embiid. Also, I am not tilted at all about this performance, so I play Embiid last slate. Same matchup. Benched. 44 fantasy points. Oh, I see tonight. 71. 70 bomb. The same exact spot. He's questionable. If he misses, then obviously it's going to be the Maxey and Harris show. Melton, if he plays, would look good. I was looking, I was like, Matisse Thybulle picked the start. I was like, I don't have interest in him, but let's see what Matisse Thybulle did. I was looking, I was like, 30 minutes, 8 fantasy points. Yeah, that sounds about right for Matisse Thybulle. So, no interest in him. I don't care. Just like, Isaac Okoro, I'd rather eat dirt than play Matisse Thybulle. If Embiid's out, then we start looking at guys like Harrell and Paul Reed for value. So a lot of question marks. Again, if Melton's out, I thought Shake Milton could have picked up the start, but they just went to Thybulle. Either way, like Milton would be the guy I would take a shot on if I had to pick like a really, really cheap 76er. So a lot of news to keep an eye on there for Philly. If Embiid plays, definitely a viable spend up there at the top. Denver and Chicago, no standouts here for Denver. Jokic 11-3 feels a little bit pricey, but I think he's totally fine. Murray, MPJ, Gordon, these guys all have a ceiling. I think Murray probably my favorite of the bunch. ACP, indifferent on him. Now, Bones and Ish are out, so you're going to get a backup point guard run. And I mentioned this on Patreon. I was like, The only real change with Bones Allen being out is I think it makes Bruce Brown looks like a solid value, and he absolutely smashed a no ownership, went for 43 fantasy points. Now, we can't expect that. Also, MPJ really struggled defensively, so they played Bruce Brown a lot more. But you are going to get back a point guard run for Bruce Brown at 4.8K. I do think it makes him a solid option. I'm not messing with any of the other bench guys there. Chicago, no standouts here. DeRozan, Vooch, Levine, all fine tournament plays. If I had to pick one, it would be Levine at 7-1. Io, the minutes have been ticking down. The minutes have been ticking up on Goran Dragic. 20-plus minutes now the last 3 games. He looks like a decent value play there at 3.9. Golden State, Sacramento. This is probably my favorite game to target. Golden State running a much tighter rotation of late. Both teams play no defense. Both teams play fast. Yeah, sign me up for this game. Steph Curry, 10-2. Like him a lot for tournaments. Got in a bit of foul trouble last game. Andrew Wiggins should play big minutes. He looks very safe. Jordan Poole, fine for tournaments. Draymond Green went for your typical Draymond Green stat line, 2 points, 13 assists, and 9 rebounds. He looks good. Klay Thompson, if he can knock down the shots, has a ceiling. I think he looks solid. Kevon Looney played 30 minutes last game. If he's going to play that amount of minutes again, he looks pretty good. And the bench was really thin. I mean, Jerome's out of the rotation. They're playing Anthony Lamb minutes. I mean, I don't trust the rotation at all, but if you want to take a shot on him, sure. Moses Moody didn't play last game. You saw like a few minutes for Kuminga. And then DiVincenzo got in some foul trouble, only played 60 minutes. So they really ran a tight rotation last game. On the Sacramento side, I mean, I love Sabonis and Fox, and it's just the same story of Sabonis. If this guy can stay out of foul trouble, he will average 50-plus fantasy points, but he's literally just always in foul trouble. I played him last slate, Lakers, on pace for 60 fantasy points. That's a foul trouble again. And then there's nothing in the fourth quarter. So, yeah, I mean, Sabonis, Fox, I like them both quite a bit here. This next group of Herter, Barnes, and Murray all look relatively similar. I think the minutes a little bit more secure on Herter and Barnes. Malik Monk struggled last game, did only play 21 minutes, but previous to that, 29, 31, and 27 minutes. I think he looks like a solid value, probably not messing with anything else. Finally, Brooklyn and Lakers. 2 bad teams going up against each other, 2 teams that have been struggling. This is also a pretty appealing game, in my opinion. Kevin Durant, 11K. Good matchup. I'm totally fine if you want to spend up for him. Claxton, if he can stay out of foul trouble, does feel a bit too cheap. Ben Simmons was in foul trouble last game, only played 14 minutes. His minutes have been kind of all over the place. He's playable in tournaments. Royce O'Neal is safe. He's going to play like mid-30s minutes most likely. Then this next group of like Cam Thomas and Seth Curry and Joe Harris and Edmund Sumner all look relatively similar. There's no standouts there, but those guys all are viable options. All these guys should see decent run in a good matchup. And finally, the Lakers. So LeBron, doubtful. Anthony Davis is expected to play. I do like AD quite a bit. Good matchup against the Brooklyn front court. Yeah, I like him quite a bit. I also really like Westbrook. I think he's still too cheap at 7-7. Not the best shooting game, but should play mid-30s minutes off the bench. Westbrook and AD look really good. Lonnie should be that third option offensively. I think he's a decent option in the mid-range. And then this grouping of like Beverly, Reeves, Troy Brown all look relatively similar. Troy Brown struggled last game. It was Reeves that had the good game. I don't really have any super strong takes on these value options. I don't think I'm messing with anything else, though, on the Lakers. Yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up the video. Again, if you have been enjoying the content, just make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Hopefully, I'm able to play and don't have to go to the dark side and play FanDuel tomorrow. Please, anything but that. But yeah, guys, have a good night. I'll see you all in the next video.